Hey, Attorney Warriors, if you're charged with a crime, will your record ever truly be clean? And does it really matter? Well, I've done this 25 plus years of clients, so I think I have the answer to those questions. So if you're interested in the state of the law, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington state for more than 25 years. I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. Now, as always, I'm just going to jump right into it. This is a question that we get all the time. Will my record be clean? And let me tell you, for an experienced attorney, it's a bit of a pet peeve question because we have to define what the word record means. We have to define what the word clean means. And what people want it to mean is, will it be invisible, right? Will it be invisible? No one will ever know I was in court. No one will ever know that I was charged with the crime. And in Washington state, it's a very simple answer. No, it will never be invisible. And there's some reasons about that, reasons why that happens. But also, depending on the outcome of your case, it probably won't have any real effect on your life if it isn't invisible. So let's start with the word record. So a record, literally taken, is a recording of an act, right? So there's always going to be a record you're in court because the court systems are required to maintain records of those that are in court in case they know what happened, right? Does someone have prior history? Was it your brother using your name? So we need to figure out who was in court. And so there's always going to be a recording of acts that someone was in court. But so I think what people really mean, will there be a record, is will I have a criminal record, right? And in Washington state, someone's official criminal record is maintained by the Washington State Patrol Criminal Identification Records Section. So basically, there's one unified place in Washington state that provides the official criminal arrest records and official criminal conviction records for things that happen in Washington. Not for things that happen in Oregon, not for things that happen in Idaho, for things that happen in Washington. And the way I tell people to think about it is the State Patrol Records Identification Section records two things on your official record. One is arrests that have fingerprints, right? Fingerprints not taken by a store, not taken by the mean security guard at Costco, right? Fingerprints taken by a jail, by a police officer. That's usually what a formal arrest means, is when you're formally arrested and fingerprinted, now that's going to show up in your state patrol official record. Now that's not necessarily a charge, it's an arrest, and it's certainly not a conviction. So what's the other thing that the state patrol official records record? Convictions. Right? So if you get accused of a crime and you're not arrested where you get fingerprinted, and most crimes you're not arrested and fingerprinted, theft, oftentimes DUIs, we don't get booked, lots and lots of charges, hit and run. I mean, I could go on here forever about the times when you're not arrested and fingerprinted. If you're not convicted of that crime, the state patrol official record most likely isn't going to be invisible for your crime, right? For the thing where you didn't get convicted and you didn't get arrested with a fingerprint. Now, it doesn't mean it's invisible to the world. It means your official record doesn't show it. So what happens if you were arrested and convicted? Well, it's going to show the arrest, and then later it's going to show a conviction. What if you're just convicted and you're not arrested? Well, it'll just show the conviction and not the arrest. And so it seems a little confusing, but it is that simple. Your official state record shows arrests with fingerprints and criminal convictions, not SOCs, not deferred prosecutions. It shows arrests or convictions, or both, in case that happened to you. So, well, let's say, Lance, I wasn't arrested and I wasn't convicted. It's invisible, right? Well, no, it's not invisible because big data exists. Does it surprise any of you out there to understand that it's quite a big business for private companies to collect court records and put them in a database and then sell them as a background check, right? Huge industry. And there is no law in Washington state that requires a big old, data collecting company to delete their records, right? There's nothing out there where, hey, I got my case dismissed So I don't want the public to know about it. You should remove the fact I was in court from your records. Well, I think the legislature should pass that law to protect our privacy, but it doesn't exist. And so that's why I say, if you're charged with a crime and you're in court, it's never going to be fully invisible, because this for-profit, huge big data companies are very good at collecting that data. They're very good at marketing that data. They're very good at selling that data. And but the good news is usually employers aren't going to care if you were ever accused of a crime but not convicted. Most people worry about work. Can I get a job? And what I've seen from 25 years of clients, one or two exceptions, but that's one or two out of 25 years, is by the time you get to a background check, an employer is typically wanting to hire you, right? They're not going to pay money typically to background check people until they get to the position where they decide, yeah, this is someone I want working for my company. It wouldn't make a lot of sense, would it? And so it's typically pass-fail for most companies. Conviction may mean fail. It may not also, depending on who you work for. Boeing will pretty much take anybody. But if they have a no conviction policy, and it's a fail for that, well, the fact you're in court is not going to be a fail. And so always assume in this day and age with the internet, there's nothing that's totally private, right? So if you're accused of a crime, there's going to be a record of it, but if you're not convicted, your official criminal record isn't going to show a conviction. And so what do I think you should take from this? Doesn't really matter if something shows up in your record. Typically, it's only going to matter in the real world if it's a conviction, and it's the type of conviction that might keep you from a job in a sensitive industry. How does it matter to our ego, how we feel about ourselves? It doesn't feel great, right? It doesn't feel great that, hey, if this didn't happen to me, I would never have to talk about it. I'm a marked person now. I'm a marked man, or I'm a marked woman. And no, you're not. You're not marked. What people care about is themselves, right? You care about yourself. You know, the person that helps me here film, Devin, he cares about a lot of people, but he cares about himself, right? Everybody, we're more focused on ourselves. We're not so concerned about what someone's record shows or not. You're concerned about it because you're afraid you're now a marked person or not, but it's not how it really works. 25 years of clients just understand that the things that screw us up are convictions of serious charges when we work in a sensitive industry, right? And we could make lots of examples of situations where it would be sensitive, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is to let you know how it works. Will it be invisible? No. May your official criminal record make it show a visible there? Yeah, it might be invisible there. And if someone only goes to the state patrol and only pulls your official criminal history, it may not show anything. And then great, because they didn't use one of these big data places, it's invisible in that case. But what I tell people is you're always going to have to talk about it if someone finds it and they care about it, right? Can they find it? If they want to find it, they can find it. And so do we care if they find it? Don't care if they find it. We don't care. We're human. We get to have a problem. Any person can be charged or accused of a crime. What matters is what we do with it, how we come out the other side, and how we feel about ourselves. So don't fret about your record. Let's just try to get you the best outcome in court and realize that we can't control the noise, and most people are worried about their own noise, not yours. So I hope you found that useful. If so, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. More importantly, if you had a criminal problem in Washington State, feel free to reach out to my firm. If we get on board, we'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.